Hello, everyone. We have the beautiful and talented Kittie Camille here with us today. Let's give her a round of applause. Kittie Camille, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Is Kittie Camille your legal name or is that your stage name?
It is my stage name. My legal name is actually Monica Bazeau. My maiden name is actually Monica Brown. And so that's how I ended up coming up with that brown girl, and people started getting to know me by that. But some years ago, I was going through a divorce, and kind of wanted to remind people of who I was subconsciously, that I was going to go back to my maiden name, and so I started saying, "Oh, remember me as that brown girl." But then I happen to be chocolate as well, so it just works out.
There's a whole lot of melanin up in here.
Yes, yes.
Yes. So where are you from?
I'm originally from North New Jersey.
Okay.
I am from Brick City, where all the greats are made, is what I like to
Okay,
say.
all right. So let's back up a moment. How did you choose your stage name, Kittie Camille?
Okay, so I used to sing background for a lot of different artists, and there's one artist here from Atlanta in particular that I used to do background for. Shout out to Robbie Raw. And in his show, he would call me Miss Kittie. And so from there, people started calling me Miss Kittie. My middle name is Camille, so it just kind of came together as Kittie Camille. And here we are today.
Okay, I love it, by the way. It's
Thank
very catchy.
you.
So you are very talented. You are a recording artist. You are a vocal coach. You are a professional BGV.
Yes.
That's background vocals, okay? And also, little birdie told me that you were once a praise dance worshiper.
Yeah, I actually still am a worship leader, so I'm a firm believer in you have to give your gifts to God first. So if I'm doing it, for the world, I feel like it's my obligation to, serve the church and do it there as well. So as long as I'm in a position to serve, I will continue to do so.
Wow, you are phenomenal. Okay, I mean, you ushering people in to God. That's great. That's great. How did your musical career get started?
I actually started singing when I was probably about 2 or 3 years old. I think the first time I actually sung in public, I was like 5. I was singing for this event at a Catholic school I was going to in New Jersey. And my mom told me, she still tells the story how there were grown men there crying as I was singing Whitney Houston's version of Jesus Loves Me. And so I've always sung. Both my parents sing. My dad had a band, plays all these instruments. But when we moved to Georgia and I started dating my ex-husband, he was a drummer. He had played for all of these different musicians. And so he would be like, "Oh, my girlfriend sings." And as he was playing for these different folks, they would be like, "Oh, well, let's have her do background." And then it just kind of started. So professionally, me doing background, I was about 19 years old where that started.
So did you actually start in church or just at different events?
I actually did start off at church. I've been in church as long as I can remember. I grew up Baptist. Even though I'm from New Jersey, I grew up Baptist. My mom was a firm believer that we were to serve, whether we were dancing, ushering, singing, we were doing something for the Lord. So, and that's how we are with our babies. So,
Okay, cool. How would you describe your style of music?
I would say a soulful R&B. I like to say I'm an 80s baby, so I'm inspired mostly by 80s, 90s music, some good 2000s, early 2000s, but I would say like a soulful R&B is my style.
Okay.
I like those singers that can just stand flat foot and deliver.
All right, all right. Okay. So you released music back in April called Troubled Waters.
Yes.
Okay. Did you write those lyrics?
I did, and my husband actually helped me because I got stuck on a little piece of the bridge, and so he helped me come up with that. But I did write Troubled Waters. It's an interesting story because I actually wrote it before he and I met. So it was somewhere around, I want to say 2018. And I didn't have any music. I was just kind of writing out the words because it was just what I felt at that moment. I was in like an off and on relationship with someone for about 4 years, and I was like, okay, either you gotta, excuse my language, piss or get off the pot,
All right.
And it felt like, okay, I'm giving all of myself to the situation, and it's not pulling me forward. So I had to figure out how to get out of this. And then I was looking at something and it was talking about God being a bridge over troubled waters. And I was like, that's what this feels like. This feels like troubled waters.
Well, so folks, here are some of the lyrics to that song. Like a flood, your loving overwhelms me. Yeah. Every time it does, I feel I'm going to drown in it. Kitty, those lyrics will bring the dogs to the kitty cat, okay? So they were inspired by your past relationship, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have amazing vocals, but do you play any other musical instruments?
I used to play trumpet. I actually played trumpet in middle school. And then once I got to a certain point, I had to choose between chorus and band. And I knew absolutely that I was going to sing for the rest of my life. So I had to chuck the deuces to the band and tell them that I was going to stay with the chorus. So, but I keep saying I definitely want to learn guitar. Adam plays guitar, and so we have all these guitars in the house. So I'm like, one day I'm gonna cut my nails down and actually try to strum it a little bit one of these days.
For those of you who do not know, she is married to international singer, songwriter, producer Adam Accent, whom you've seen on the show before.
Yes, I am. That's mine.
Claim it, honey, claim it. So have you opened for any well-known artists?
Yes, I actually just recently opened for John B. last month. And then I used to do background for a lot of different artists. LaToya Luckett. I've been on the Monique Show with Wyclef at one point, and Glenn Jones, Michael Henderson prior to him passing. So, yeah, I'm like, I really might be built for this.
Was there any pressure being on the stage with them or opening for them? Because you seem pretty confident in your gift, so.
I am confident in my gift, but I haven't always been confident in me. So I've had to, over the years, figure out a way to reconcile the two together. This last thing with me opening up for John B., I was like, oh, I'm built for this. But years ago, I would be so nervous. I would literally be shaking. And then, like, until I had to start singing, as soon as I would open my mouth, then it would stop. But like I would have to have conversations with God. Like, I need to overcome this fear. You know, help me to be confident in who you've called me to be and who you've made me be. So just me resting in that I'm really built for this, and then hearing feedback of people who actually do hear me sing and them saying, oh my God, how it touched them. And then it has given me a different confidence, not just in my gift, but in me as a woman.
That's awesome. That's great to hear. That's really great to hear. So you've opened for all these well-known artists. Have you done any background work for your husband?
I actually have. Around the time that Adam and I first met, we used to do these performances at Apache, that is in Midtown Atlanta. And it was a show called For the Love of R&B that we would do. And so we would do background for each other. And then there was a show that Adam had, I won't say the name of it, but they had some people who were singing background for him. And it was not good. So I kind of pulled like a Trump move or a Kanye move and came up and took the microphone from the girl and started singing the backgrounds myself. And so when we got done, I was like, I'm so sorry, sweetie, but I could not let you do my husband like that. So
the answer is yes. She's done lots of background for her husband.
Yeah, I got his bag and everything. So
great, that's wonderful. What is the title of your newest project?
Okay, so my newest project is called From Lust Till Dawn, and From Lust Till Dawn.
Okay, and how'd you come up with that title?
I knew that I wanted to do a project that kind of chronicled a relationship and how when you first meet a person, they present themselves to you, and you have this infatuation, maybe these blinders, so you don't really see them for who they are. So you're in that lust phase, but as time goes on, you get to see them in the light of day, and a lot of times they may not be who they initially presented themselves to be. So I was thinking, okay, how do I chronicle this idea of like growing from that infatuation phase to the realization that this is a toxic situation. And so that's where From Lust Till Dawn comes, because it's like you're in that lustful stage, and then as the time comes, you see them in the dawn of day and realize that they may not be who they said they were.
Absolutely. Are there any collaborators with you on your new project?
Yes. So Adam is actually on my project. My husband, Adam Accent. He produced most of it as well, so you'll hear all of his greatness. And then there's a rapper, Tori Falls, who is on there as well. So this project, I really wanted to just kind of showcase me in a sense, and then just have those two kind of poke their heads in, but and especially because it's my first one, so I wanted to kind of set the stage of my voice and who I am as an artist. So,
well, my guess is that you are more than capable of covering some of the greatest artists out there. Your vocal range is phenomenal.
Thank you.
I've listened to your music. You have a wonderful voice.
Thank you.
You're very talented. So can I press upon you for you to cover one of your favorite artists?
One of my favorite artists. Okay.
There are many, I'm sure.
Classic. One of my most favorite artists absolutely is Kelly Price.
Okay.
You talking about range and the strength of her voice, the tone. She's discovered that her voice is an instrument and literally uses it. So she actually did a cover of a cover song. So it's called As We Lay. So I'll do a little bit of that for you.
Great.
All right. It's morning, and now it's time for us to say goodbye. Goodbye, baby. You're leaving me. I know you got to hurry home to face your wife. Your wife. And I would never want to hurt her. No, no, no. 'Cause she would never understand that you belong to me for just one night as we slept the night away.
Woo! Awesome! That was awesome.
Thank
Very
you.
good. You will give Kelly Price a run for her money. So, what are some charities or projects that you've done community-wise to support the community?
So I happen to be AKA, we believe in community service. I've supported a lot of homeless shelters and stuff like that, especially that are in the area, in the Atlanta area. And I also have a project that I started a couple of years ago. It's called The Path to Her, where we've done some homeless took one of them in particular it was called A Day of Love. It was a Valentine's Day thing that we did. I had took about 10 friends or so, and I had about maybe $1,500 of my own money. Went out, bought different supplies, toiletries.
Awesome.
We had people donate coats, blankets, and we did sandwiches and stuff. So we went, handed out over, I think we had about 213 bags. At the time, I used to work for an attorney's office because I've been a paralegal for about 9 years. And one of the attorneys that I worked for, they were one of the sponsors for it. So they purchased the bags for them. And but we had filled all these bags with all these toiletries and stuff and was able to give them away. We had Valentine's Day cards with them with just inspirational messages to them. And we have like roses for the ladies. So it was really, really sweet.
It
was really sweet.
That's great. It is awesome when we can give back to the community. It does something
Yes.
for us when we do that. So what are some upcoming events that you are a part of?
So my husband and I actually are doing a dual album release party. My project is coming out on May the 15th. Adams is set to release May 19th. So we have decided instead of having separate album release parties, that we were going to do a dual collaborative release together. So it's going to be a live concert with a band. We have a couple openers. Amazing saxophonist named Trey Daniels, who's my first fam. He's an alpha man. So then there's a singer-songwriter, Buggy Music. She's going to be performing. She plays guitar as well. Amazing vocalist. We have a comedian, Wait Ball, that's going to be there. And then spoken word artist, Jamelle Moore is hosting. Miss Jen here is going to be our black carpet host. So it's going to be a phenomenal. My nerves are definitely rearing up, but I'm just anxious and ready to put forth what we've been working on for so long.
I have no doubt that you and your husband are going to deliver.
Thank you
I'm
so
excited,
much.
and thank you so much for asking me to be a part of it.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So tell us how we can find you on social media.
Yes, so if you are on social media, you can follow me at Kittie Chamille. That's KITTIECHAMILLE. Or you can search hashtag that brown girl. That's DAT brown girl, and that is where you will find me.
Awesome. Awesome. So I'm not sure if you've heard, American actor Jonathan Majors is making news.
I know.
He was arrested in New York back in March 2023 and charged with assault and harassment following an alleged domestic dispute. I might add, folks, that these are alleged charges and they're misdemeanors. However, still impacting his career. Most people will probably know him from movies like Creed 3, The Ant, The Harder They Fall, and most recently he's in a Marvel series, The Avengers, The Kang Dynasty. So it started out with a text message that led to the argument, disagreement that's being alleged where the assault took place. I don't know about you. This sounds like deja vu.
Yeah.
It's sounding a little bit like Chris Brown, Rihanna, right? It's giving Chris Brown and Rihanna. I'm sorry, folks. That's what it sounds like to me. So I know that recently the alleged victim sent a text message to Mr. Majors, basically saying that there's no assault, that she told the police officers that there were no assault, that everything that happened was basically her fault. So since this will come about, Jonathan Majors' PR firm, his management team, have all dropped him ahead of a hearing that's coming up. So he hasn't even been convicted and they've already dropped him. What do you think about this situation?
I think it is quite unfortunate. But I also think that when you are in this industry, you have to be ever so careful about who you have around you and about what you're doing. Now, I told you guys I'm a paralegal, so I do believe that everyone is innocent until proven guilty. However, you have to consider that these companies he's working with, they have their own brands. And for him to have these alleged charges, you know, it's going to damage their brand to be associated with him. So it is unfortunate because he's such a talented actor, but he's also human. So
So I think what pretty much put the nail in the coffin for him is the fact that there have been multiple other victims that have come forward.
yeah,
It's alleged, okay, let's just say that. I personally met Jonathan in March, 2 weeks before this incident happened.
really,
He is the sweetest. He is very charismatic. He is very personable, very, very laid back. So I was taken aback when I heard about these charges, alleged charges. So we wish the best for him. If there are victims that have been impacted by any sort of violence, we do not condone that. So I just want to get that out there. And I think just talking with your husband before, you've experienced some domestic violence yourself, right?
I have, and I've been sexually assaulted by a friend. You know, so having gone through a trauma, I would never want to discount anyone's account of something that they have, you know, dealt with. So at this point, I really just wish healing for both of them. But I'm not gonna lie, when I heard the story, I was really disappointed, and I was hoping that it was not true. I didn't want to say, oh, she's lying, but I was really, really hoping, God, don't let this be true. You know, because he is such a positive influence, you know, with all of the stuff that he's been able to accomplish. He could be a positive male role model for Black children to look to. So I really was hoping that it was not true. But as I stated, you know, everyone is human, and as much as we can hope they don't behave a certain way, you know, we can't control what another person does. So, but we will still say that he's innocent until proven guilty.
Absolutely. Okay, Miss Kittie.
Yes, ma'am.
You have been very insightful.
Thank you.
Very informative, along with all your talent and your beauty. But let me see if I can crack you. We are going to play a game now.
Ooh.
So the game is called Say It, Trade It, or Do It.
Okay.
You're going to select a card,
Okay.
and whatever that card says, you're going to respond to it. If it says answer a question, answer the question.
Okay.
If it says do something, you're going to do what that card says. Now, you do have one free trade. You can trade a card in if there's something that you don't want to say or do or that may be uncomfortable for you. Okay, I'm a fair person. I'm a fair person. So, I trust that you will follow the rules.
All right.
There's not many. Okay?
You gon' have to do more than just you gon' have to do less for you. So mama, you know so you gon' need to do more than just.
You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's go. Let's go.
Ooh.
Read the question for us.
It says, spit the hook for your newest single.
Okay.
So it says, troubled waters, I won't die in you. Let me out of your troubled waters, I won't die in you. Right now it's hard to believe. Your love is killing me. Let me out of your troubled waters, and I won't die in you.
Okay, I'm done. Next, just go ahead and sing the alphabet. Just go ahead and sing the alphabet. Okay, Mary had a little lamb, something like that, okay?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Yes! Take us to church with that one, honey. Okay, one more card.
All right, let's see. Oh, Lord. It says, if your ex was here right now, what would you say or do to him? I would actually say thank you.
Oh, that's interesting.
I would say thank you. I have learned that no experience is wasted. And even though he was not good for me, it put me in a position to really appreciate my husband. Because he's such a good man, and I think if I had not gone through some of my prior experiences in relationships, the things that he does, I would have just been like, oh, you're supposed to do that. But having been, you know, in relationships where I wasn't fulfilled or really taken care of or really loved properly, when good love came to me, I was like, yeah, this is how it should feel. And I really appreciate him, like, on a level that I can't even articulate. So if my ex was here, I would tell him thank you.
I think to sum that up, as my bishop says all the time, some you win and some you learn.
Yes.
You never lose.
Never losing.
Never lose.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, Kittie, it has been great talking with you.
Same
You
here.
are so talented. I look forward to your album release. You guys, please make sure you come out and join us on Saturday, May 13th for that event. It's going to be awesome.
Yes.
So,
We can't wait to see you guys there. Thank you so much.
let's give her a round of applause, people.
Thank you for having me.
Candid conversations with Jen. Candid conversations with Jen. Kicking it with Jen. Just sitting back with Jen. Chatting
chatting up with Jen, kicking it with Jen, sitting there with Jen, candid conversations with Jen, candid